Welcome to the Greater South Florida Group. Today, we will discuss the state of the Florida real estate market. The source of the information in this video is based on the May 2026 report by ReVenture Consulting. Let's delve into the information. Florida's real estate market is at a turning point. As of May 2026, the Sunshine Premium is facing its toughest test yet. Today, we're moving past the headlines to look at the hard data. This is your comprehensive market forecast and tactical playbook, essential for every buyer and seller trying to navigate the shifts ahead. The numbers are in, and the correction is no longer theoretical, it's active. We've seen a 4.1% year-over-year drop, with typical home values sliding from nearly $392,000 down to roughly $375,000. In this environment, guessing is a massive financial risk. You need to understand the data before you make your next move. Looking ahead, the forecast confirms what the data has been hinting at. We are now in a definitive buyer's market. With a market force score of just 37 out of 100, there is a high probability that home prices will continue a moderate decline over the next 12 months. For buyers, this 3.6% projected dip represents a rare window of increasing leverage and decreasing competition. To understand the why behind this shift, we have to look at the 5-factor diagnostic. The standout metric here is inventory. We're seeing a massive 35% surplus compared to historical norms. When you combine that with homes sitting on the market 20% longer and appreciation turning negative, the signal is undeniable. Across every category, from price cuts to mortgage rates, market momentum is cooling, handing the leverage back to the buyer. It's crucial to understand that this isn't random market noise. This is simple mathematics. We call this the market gravity loop. Here's how it works. High inventory and restrictive rates mathematically force properties to sit longer, an average of 74 days. When stagnation hits, seller resolve breaks. This leads to capitulation and price cuts, which ultimately confirms value destruction. If you are a buyer, this cycle is your new best friend. Here is the single biggest engine driving this entire transition: the supply shock. For 7 years, inventory remained remarkably stable, but in the last 12 months, that dynamic has imploded. We now face a massive 35% surplus of homes for sale. There are nearly 160,000 active listings, crushing the 7-year historical norm. If you are selling, this is your competition. While inventory is surging, the 6.38% mortgage rate is acting as the market's critical anchor. Yes, this rate is restrictive compared to the 5-year average, but it is not a free fall. Crucially, it's very close to last year's rate, which provides a key stabilizing psychological baseline for demand. It isn't sparking a buying frenzy, but it prevents total collapse by holding a normalized level of suppressed buyer interest against the heavy incoming supply. So where does this leave us? Our definitive forecast confirms that we are entering a sustained buyer's market. The needle on our market force gauge has swung decisively to 37 out of 100, indicating a declining force. With a negative 3.6% forecast over the next 12 months, we project home prices will continue a moderate but steady decline. Sellers, the period of record-high appreciation is officially over. To really understand this shift, we must look at the data. This is the 5-factor market diagnostic. We are analyzing everything from appreciation to mortgage rates. The main takeaway here is clear. Inventory and days on market are significantly higher than normal, flashing major red signals for the market. Across the board, every single metric is pointing to a powerful and sustained decline. Again, sellers, the period of record-high appreciation is officially over. The market isn't just resetting. It's revealing a predictable timeline of capitulation that buyers can exploit. We have identified a critical breaking point around day 74. We start with optimistic pricing on day 1. By day 30, Traffic slows as the reality of a 6.38% rate sets in. The stagnation point is day 74, the exact moment when a seller's anxiety converts into an actionable discount, forcing them to either delist or execute a significant price cut. If you hold the power, you must understand this timeline. The final confirmation of this downward pressure is the surge in seller capitulation. Nearly 1 in 4 listings in Florida is currently slashing prices just to attract a buyer. At a 24.7% price cut rate, we are now officially trending above the historical norm. This isn't just a minor adjustment, it's an accelerating trend of downward pricing pressure that confirms the market has shifted firmly in the buyer's favor. The forecast is officially locked in. We have identified a significant downward force in the current real estate landscape. Our proprietary analytics give this market a score of 37 out of 100 on our declining market force gauge. What this tells us is that there is a high probability that home prices in Florida will continue to decline moderately over the next 12 months, leading to a forecast of a 3.6% price correction by May 2027. While a negative 3.6% drop might sound like the start of a housing crash, the data tells a different story. What we are seeing is a mathematical normalization. Unlike the chaos of 2008, this is a controlled, moderate decline, driven by an oversupply of inventory meeting rate-locked buyer demand. Leading indicators like days on market and price cuts aren't signs of a collapse. They are the healthy, necessary pressures needed to bring the Florida market back into balance. So, how do you actually win in this market? It starts with a shift in tactics. For sellers, the test the market phase is over. You must price aggressively from day one to avoid the 74-day stagnation point. Focus on professional staging and highlighting total cost of ownership stability. For buyers, this is your era of leverage. Use these rising days on market to negotiate major concessions, especially mortgage rate buydowns, rather than just chasing the lowest price. The opportunities are there for those who move based on data, not headlines.
The Florida market is moving fast, and as we've seen today, the safe haven is officially correcting. Whether you are a buyer looking for leverage or a seller managing risk, navigating this shift requires data, not guesswork. If this 5-factor breakdown brought you clarity, hit that like button. For monthly momentum score updates across Florida to help you stay ahead of the curve, make sure you're subscribed. Finally, I want to hear from you. Drop your local zip code in the comments below and let me know. Are you seeing these price cuts in your neighborhood?